We're at Texas Tech Media Days here, sitting in with the new offensive line coach at Texas Tech, Brandon Jones. This is Rob Bro from the Rob Bro Show on 1340 The Fan. Coach Jones, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. I was watching a video kind of preparing for the interview. It says this is your dream job, coming home.
Absolutely.
Just speak to that a little bit.
Texas Tech just means the world to me. I wasn't a highly recruited kid coming out of high school. They gave me an opportunity, so that's always stood out. But, I spent, 8 years of my life here previously, and this is kind of where it all started for me. So, I've had a few stops along the way, constantly find myself trying to get back to the state of Texas. And so when the opportunity presented itself, it just all made sense, especially your alma mater.
So if you look at your coaching stops, after Texas Tech, you're here with Mike Leach as a graduate assistant and coach. Moved on to East Carolina, Sam Houston State, East Carolina.
Yeah, brief stint at Sam Houston State.
so then you had 5 years with Coach Ruffin McNeil.
Yes, sir.
Lincoln Riley was the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And you move on to coaching under Sonny Dykes.
Yes, sir.
So you've been in this system, or a similar system, your entire coaching tenure. How has that prepared you for this job at Texas Tech?
The deal at Sam Houston was an extremely brief stint, and that was running backs and tight ends, which I had no business coaching those two. But the deal at East Carolina with Coach McNeil gave me an opportunity. I want to say I was 23, 24. It allowed me a chance to get all my bad coaching out. Just kind of a trial and error. Those first 2 years, Coach Riley was the same way. We had no idea what the hell we were doing, but we grew and we continued to get better as coaches, and that just propelled me, and getting the opportunity to work with good offensive coordinators with Lincoln, and then moving on with Tony Franklin at Cal. That was interesting, but he's a great one too, offensive mind. And then we had Jake Spavital last year. And then being able to come back here with Coach Kingsbury, they're all great offensive minds, and there's probably nothing I haven't seen. This will be my 8th year coaching under the big lights. So just being prepared, mentally for what defenses are trying to accomplish and what we need to attack and what adjustments I need to make. This will probably be my best year as a coach.
Cool. Now, you're talking about being under these different offensive coordinators. Does that change how you coach?
No.
Okay.
Because they're all basically under the air raid tree. The cool thing about my transition here is Coach Kingsbury and Coach Spavital like best friends. So we ran the exact same system at Cal. So the verbiage and and everything from a transition standpoint was pretty smooth for me. But in this offense, it's pass first, and you probably have about 8 run plays. So that's constant with all of them. So it's an easy deal for me to go back and forth.
Do you feel any trepidations about being in a new place, or do you really feel like this is home and it's not really like a new place?
I don't think it is a new place. I know where everything is, you know what I mean? So it's been easy. My wife and daughters, they love it here. So it really was. It's just like, I'm from Dallas. It's just like going back home, going back to Dallas. So it's been easy.
You have a lot of youth along the offensive line, some experienced youth, a couple sophomores who played last year. Jack Anderson has been placed high up on the depth chart. What are your feelings on starting a bunch of young guys? Is that going to make a difference, or do you just want to put the best 5 out there?
Yeah, I don't play favorites. The kids understand that. I'm just going to play the best 5 that play well together. On paper, that usually you don't see that, but there's some thought that has to go into, well, do those guys really play well together? So we do have some youth. We've put in a ton of work this summer. We do a ton of walkthroughs. We spend quite a bit of time together. So you should see some significant improvement. Those kids that did play last year, they're eager. They're hungry. They've heard how bad they are. I've heard how bad they are. That's just motivation for all of us, myself included. So, we've worked. They probably worked harder this summer than they ever have. And they all know it's all geared towards them being successful and putting out a good product.
You always hear that along the offensive line, continuity is important.
Absolutely.
Do you believe that?
I do.
You can try to put the same 5 out as much as you can?
I do, because it's just having a feel and understanding this guy's going to be here on this double team. I know how heavy he's going to be. I know, our communications the same way. I tried to roll some guys last year at Cal, and it was just a complete disaster, so I just had to fall back on those 5 and just ride it out with them.
So back in 2002, you were here in 2002 as a player?
I was.
What was Kliff like as a senior quarterback?
He was good. I was a redshirt freshman, or a true freshman then, and just a leader. I mean, just what you see right now. He's probably the hardest worker. He's for damn sure the hardest working coach I've been around. So that translated, that was exactly who he was as a player. But the guys kind of, they were behind him, and was just really similar to our quarterback now. They're identical to me.
Awesome. And you also spent a bunch of time with Lincoln Riley, I guess, here at Texas Tech and at East Carolina.
I did.
How do you think he's going to do at Oklahoma this year?
We text quite a bit. I told him I'm pulling for him except that one Saturday. So the thing with Lincoln is he's an extremely humble guy, and my O-line coach is there. Obviously Ruff's there. So, and my brother-in-law is a receivers coach there. So I'm pulling for those guys except for that one Saturday. So
I got one last question for you. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of offensive line play.
Mm-hmm.
I focus on it when I'm watching the game. I was an offensive lineman in high school, whatever it was.
Gotcha.
Who's the nastiest offensive lineman you have on the squad?
I would say Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele with Jack Anderson a close second. I mean, so he's got it, and Terrence is extremely strong. He's probably 400-pound bencher, 650 squatter, so his weight room strength transfers out on the field. But I would say him for now.
All right.
Hopefully they don't hear that, so they all play nasty.